So I don't think it's any secret to anybody who watches my channel that I love Star Wars. Star Wars has been a big part of my childhood. The first Star Wars movie I ever saw was The Phantom Menace. It was a movie that was in our local library, and we loved to get it all the time. But when we were kids, me and Lark, we just really enjoyed like the lightsaber fights, the cool space action scenes. That was what we really loved. But as we grew to appreciate Star Wars more, we realized that there was, so much more to Star Wars than simply that. There was a lot of intrigue. There was a lot of really cool stories there. And we fell in love with the trilogy. Like the story of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia Organa. Awesome, just awesome stuff. We really enjoyed that. And so that's why it pains me so much to see what Star Wars has become nowadays with the Disney sequel trilogy with Rey and Finn and Poe and all that. It's become a mess. It's become a joke, really, what Star Wars has become nowadays. I can hardly say that what we have now is even quintessentially Star Wars. And so when I thought about making my own Star Wars story, I didn't look to the sequel series. Instead, I looked more to one of my favorite Star Wars games, Star Wars The Old Republic, or Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, where you could make your own character and go on sort of your own adventure. And at first, I thought about making a Jedi character, and I did. There is a Jedi story out there that I'm working on, but it's a very slow story process that I'm not quite comfortable with yet because there's still so much I need to work out in it. But in this case, a story that I've already started writing and releasing chapters for is called Priceless. Now, Priceless, I got the idea from my bounty hunter character that I created in Star Wars The Old Republic, Liya Tai. She's a bounty hunter who's also a Nautolan. And one of the reasons I wanted to write about a bounty hunter character is because I think that there's a lot of really cool ideas to explore in a bounty hunter character. The TV show or Disney Plus show, The Mandalorian, started off strong in my opinion, but really it got underwhelming for me. I really don't enjoy it as much as I did when I first started watching it because there were some cool ideas at the start, but I felt like it missed its point a whole lot, and I feel like it's missing out in a great way. So I decided to make my own, and that's where Liya Tai came from. The story of Liya Tai is this. Basically, she has a dark history. Her parents were sold into slavery. She has a great disdain for the slavery practice. She grew up on the streets under a young up-and-coming Hutt named Garak, who basically taught her how to survive on the street, basically how to fend for herself and do things her own way. And along the way, she ends up learning to become a bounty hunter. And there's a lot of mystery. I don't want to give away too much. Like, I don't want to give away how she gets her ship. I don't want to give away how she becomes a bounty hunter. I don't want to give away how she gets trained in that. I don't want to give away yet how she gets her specialized armor and weapons. Okay, there's a lot that I want to reveal as I write the story. But know that as I go through the story, I reveal bits and pieces about where she came from, what she's got, how she got what she did, that kind of thing. And so Liya Tai, on one of her missions, she goes to meet up with Garak, her Hutt contact, who has a job for her. He wants her to kill another Hutt who's been causing a lot of trouble. So she goes to do the job, but in the process, she comes across this slave boy named Aiden. Aiden wants nothing more than to travel with Liya Tai. He hopes that she'll buy him, because she's a slave, you buy a slave. She has no interest in doing that, but she uses Aiden to get information on her target that she can use to kill him. But after killing her target, Aiden stows away on her ship. And so now she's got this kid that she doesn't know what to do with. And she's kind of like, I have no interest in raising a kid. I have no interest in this. I need to drop him off somewhere. But she doesn't know where to take him. But suddenly people start coming after her for this kid. And she realizes that this kid has a bit of a history himself, a history that he isn't even aware of. And she starts to realize that there's more to this kid than she thought. At first, she thinks about ways that she could possibly exploit this. If he's this valuable, maybe I can make some money off of it. But then she starts to realize there are some people, some things that you can't put a price tag on. They're priceless. They're things that you can't buy. And that's where the title of the story comes from, Priceless. What things can we put value on and what can't we? Liya Tai's story is a story that I feel resonates a lot with me because I love the idea of a rogue or someone with questionable moral outlooks who has to come to terms with how she looks at the world. And that's what Liya Tai does. First of all, her design. I like the Nautolan race in Star Wars. I think they're really cool. If you don't know what they are, they're basically Kit Fisto's race. And if you don't know what that is, well, I showed a picture of Leah, so you get the idea. I really like their design, first of all, but I also really like the idea of bounty hunting in Star Wars, like the Jango Fett, Boba Fett. They look really cool. And I thought, what if we had a different race that could do that? So I decided to make Liya Tai. And yes, I also think that the idea, the world in Star Wars: The Old Republic is a really good one. Definitely better than the sequel series. I think it's so funny to me that the sequel series claims, oh, well, Star Wars is so open-ended, there's so much you could do with it. Oh, but they don't, I mean, after all, we just kind of had to go with what we could. No, you had a whole blueprint. You could have gone with stuff from the Old Republic series, but you made that non-canon now, so it's so bad. But what I really wanted to explore with Liya Tai was not only the exploration of morality, the exploration of what we put value on and why, but also character depth, character growth, her changing from this person who doesn't put a whole lot of value into anything, into putting so much value into someone else that technically she has no real connection to. Who are our family? Who are our friends? Who are the people that we want to protect at the end of the day? Can we put somebody that we should, by all accounts, not care about and put them on a higher pedestal than we thought possible because of what they mean to us and how we interact with them? There's a lot that I want to explore with Priceless. I've really enjoyed writing it. I know that that's not a whole lot to go on. I hope that you guys find that interesting. If you want to read it, I have started writing it. You can check it out on my DeviantArt page. It's slowly growing. I've been working on it bit by bit, and both my friends Hannah and Jay are both doing art for it, which is phenomenal. And they've also been very helpful in helping lead me down the right path of this story, because sometimes I get too lost in my own ideas, like, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if I did this? Ooh, wouldn't it be cool if I did that? And sometimes they do have to point out, wouldn't it make more sense if blank? And then I go, yep, you know what, you're right. And that's one of the problems with Star Wars for me. I see so many opportunities to pursue things that would be really cool. Like, I had to convince myself not to make Liya Tai Force sensitive. It's kind of like, no, we don't need to do that. She's an awesome bounty hunter. I want to explore her from that perspective. I don't need to add other things to it. Another reason I wanted to make Liya Tai the way I did was because, frankly, I'm tired of the Mary Sue angle. It feels like anytime you add a female main character in Star Wars now, they have to be some kind of Mary Sue, like Rey or something along those lines. It just makes no sense that we do that. I feel like we can have female characters who are strong, tough, but aren't impervious to anything. Leah suffers a little bit in this story, and we get to see it. So I also wanted to, I remember how when I first saw Star Wars The Force Awakens, we saw that flashback of Rey's parents flying away and her being left there, and that's supposed to be her childhood trauma. I thought you could handle that so much better, so I wanted to handle that better with Leah. Again, if you want to read the story, go check it out. I will leave a link in the description for you guys to see it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys are interested in the story, and thank you so much for watching. Always happy to add a story or share a story with you guys that I'm really interested in writing. And as always, I will see you in my next video. Take care.